Hello, it's Colette. Welcome back to my channel for the weekly tarot card for the week commencing Monday, the 6th of February 2017. Lovely card this week called the Judgement, card 20 in the major arcana of the tarot. So it's quite an important card because it is one of the majors, and it's also kind of coming near the end of the Fool's journey as he's learned so many things. But what does it mean? It's got lovely female on it, beautiful face, feathers in her hair, the original cards down the bottom. The original Judgement card has an angel with a trumpet calling people up, and the dead are all rising from their graves. I don't know if you can see that on it, but that's the kind of a copy of kind of the more original one. But this one, I always thought that this thing in front of the female was like a gavel. I'd always felt it was like what a judge goes with, and I've always used that as an interpretation. But one of my friends who's a magician said it's actually the mouthpiece of a trumpet, which, looking at it now, it definitely is the mouthpiece of a trumpet. But it's amazing how sometimes you'll see something in a card that, for the way that you're reading it at that particular time, makes sense. You know, it's a wee bit more like the judgment of up high, or, you know, the judgment day kind of thing. But she's just got her shiny red cheeks because she's probably been playing the trumpet. So it really does mimic the original deck where the angel has the trumpet. So thanks, Willie, for that. Many years of Rohrig deck, and always thought that was a judge's gavel. So thanks, William. The day you told me that, I was like, oh God, I meant to be a tarot master. But again, it's one of these things. It served me well thinking of the other way. Anyway, let's not go off the point. This card, the Judgment, what does it mean? Well, in general terms, it's about kind of standing up and being counted. It's you could look at the sort of big, intense aspect of Judgment Day, and you know how we're going to go forward, etc. And I actually think that's quite relevant for all the political stuff that's going on in the world at the moment. You know, are you going to sit back, or are you going to stand up and be counted? And how will you feel at Judgment Day if there's things that, you know, you feel, I could have said something there, I could have been involved in something, I could have spoken up. So there's that bigger aspect of, you know, how you would want your life to be judged, and looking at it deeply in the week ahead. You know, the judgment, the only judgment that really matters is yours. But if you look at your life and say, well, you know, I haven't made the progress that I would like, so I'll now focus on that. This is where this card can be coming in. So don't be over judgmental of yourself, but have a wee look back the way, have a wee look forward and up the way, see where you want to be, see where you've got to go to achieve that and what you've got to do. And a lot of the aspect of this card is also about leaving things in the past and being rebirthed into a new way of life. I know that's more the world that follows it, card 21, this is card 20, but there's this aspect of really putting yourself in the situation of, right, if it ended today and I was standing in front of God, would I be happy with the decisions I've made, the people I've not forgiven? You know, and it can be an amazing card of forgiveness as well, where there is the forgiveness of you to family members, to feuds, so it can help pull together people. But in a personal way, I always use this card to say, right, where do I want to be, and how do I get there? And make judgments on how to get myself there. So don't over criticize yourself. It's not a criticism card, please. It's not a criticism card. It's very much about just halting in your day or your week and saying, where am I now? How does the past, you know, if that were the day of reckoning, how would I view my past? And if it's not up to scratch, what do I do about it? And that's the kind of essence of the card in a kind of bonkers Rohrig way. However, what does it mean in day-to-day things? If we look at career first, but again, it's maybe a time to sort of think, where do I go next? But it can also be a time where you're called in for assessments, you know, it can be a time of an examination, it can be a time of, literally getting pulled over the coals if you haven't done very well and getting the pat on the back if you have. So be prepared that career this week could undergo a challenge simply because you could feel that you're being judged. If it's not you looking at career and saying, how do I judge my progress so far? Where am I going? It could be more external, that you are being judged on your work, on your ethics, on the way that you interact career-wise on a day-to-day basis. So quite a wee scary one there, but it is a major card, and major cards bring major punches with them. If we look at health, it basically again is about looking at how you've looked after yourself, or looking at a specific illness and bringing a kind of conclusion to it. Right, okay, I should have looked after that better, so I recognise that, and now I will do this and that and the next thing. And also with this card, I used to, with the redness in the face, sort of feel that there may be a wee bit of sort of out of puffedness on it, which is obviously to do with the trumpet as well, which there we go. But I always felt it needed to maybe watch the chest with this in health. Anybody with asthma could find that there's a kind of different pressure on the chest. So if you feel you've got a wee infection, or you feel that in some way you're not breathing correctly, that can be from anemia, it can be from a wee infection that's not been cleared, it can be just deterioration of the atmosphere and allergens. So it might be worthwhile to get your breathing checked or go to the doctor for that this week. But it's all about addressing the situation and changing it and moving forward. So for health, it can be a very, very beneficial card. So if we look at love, again, it's very much about, sometimes in a long-term relationship, it's wise to say, right, okay, we've come this far. What do we feel? Where are we going with it? Is there anything we could do better? Are we kind of outgrown one another? Or can we reconnect better and use that aspect to take you forward in whatever way that means to be? I do like the Judgement card in relationships because there's a gentleness about it, although, in the word, the judgment can be quite severe. It's very much about looking at things, seeing where you could have done better, I suppose, and then resolving to do that. Or maybe making a penance of some sort. So if you've been a wee witch this week, or you've been a grumpy old man, then this is a time maybe to make some amends. That would be good for relationships. If you're seeking a relationship, again, it's time to maybe think, where have I been going wrong? What is the point of keeping going the same way all the time? Make a judgment call and move forward with change. If we look at money, it's very similar. It's time to look at your finances and make a call on them. If you've just been frittering stuff away even after Christmas, and January hasn't got any better, and now you're into February and you're still struggling or whatever, it's time to make that judgment call and say, you know what, I'm going to make amends for Christmas, New Year, and I'm going to be extra frugal, that sort of thing. Beautiful card for all you mediums out there, because theoretically we do have the aspect of the veil between the two worlds. being very, very thin, in fact, almost not being there. In my Norse deck, it's amazing. It actually shows the deities up above and families coming together under it. It's not get people coming up out of graves, it's families coming together. And the veil between the two is as thin as anything. So it's a good card if you want to move forward with your mediumship. Any forms of psychic awareness or whatever will be heightened this week. There will be a sense of better connection. But with that, here's the warning. Your guides must, with this extra connection, may make their presence felt more and say, hey, what have you been doing? Have you been meditating? Have you been doing this? Have you been doing that? Have you been doing the work? So there is a chance that with this lessening of the veil, that you find that you actually get told off a wee bit, or you feel, oh God, I didn't do that, or I stopped meditating on the 2nd of January, or right, whatever. So very, very good spiritual card, very good for connections with the people that you're meant to connect to in spirit, whether that be family beings, or whether that be your guides starting to come through. So, very big, major card, very beautiful one. Let me hear what you think on it. I've had some real joy over the last few weeks where there's been a few people actually putting forward, oh, I got this from it, or I use the Judgement card in this. Now, every tarot deck brings out certain different nuances of the tarot, but I must admit, I love hearing it. I absolutely love hearing it. Oh, I take that from that card, and that matches up with what you're saying there. And get a conversation going. So all you tarot people out there, what do you feel about the Judgement card? How do you read it? Can you put it into different areas of people's life, or is it just got to be the sort of major aspect of it? Bring it down to day-to-day aspects: career, health, love, wealth, Chloe. And that's the way to do it. But I'd love to hear more in the comments below. And if you like the weekly tarot card, please give me a wee thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel. It's that way. There should be a button with my face on it, kind of there or there, and if you press on that, it will take you in to subscribe to the channel, which would be absolutely wonderful because it's going well and I want it to go even better. So pretty big week ahead. Should be an enjoyable one, as long as you're aware that there could be a pressure of some sort of judgment, whether it be from yourself or outward sources, But stand up and be counted. The world's changing. It needs people to actually stand up and say, well, I was quiet for a while, but you know what? I'm going to be noisy now. Hear my voice, not in my name. Okay? Many blessings, and see you next week. Bye now.